Coach, you made quite a revelation this morning that in 2007 you had prostate cancer. You had treatment for it, but you kept it a secret from everybody but the family and the doctors. Tell us why you did that. Why did you have to keep it a secret?
If people knew I was getting treated for cancer, it would have been headlines all over the paper. Bowden has cancer, or Bowden this, that. Well, I was 77. I couldn't stand. He's 77 and he's got cancer. You know how that would be in recruiting, Tony, and as much as you've been around it.
When Florida State football coach and Hall of Famer Bobby Bowden was diagnosed with prostate cancer, as he said, he kept it a secret until now. It is actually the most commonly diagnosed cancer among American men and takes about one life every 18 minutes. September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and a few prominent men in the community are here to share their stories of how they are dealing with it. Please welcome Gabe Canales, Judge Eric Endell, and Tony Mazraf. Good morning.
Good morning.
And as we know, with any critical disease, you have to talk about it. But this was something that was so far away from your mind at 35 years old, and it was an accident, in a sense, if you believe in accidents, how you got diagnosed.
It was through an inadvertent test, and I got the diagnosis that I had cancer, and of course it was met with shock and a range of emotions, but you know, then it's up to you. You got to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, that my doctors that I've been to across the country, there's one thing that we continue to hit upon. Someone like me who has no family history of cancer,
and young,
35 years old, we believe that there's the hormones, antibiotics, pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides in our foods, as well as environmental conditions, are creating a spike in cancer rates across the board. My doctors believe that contributed to my cancer. And I think that's something that we need to look at, is what is causing these cancers, and then are there ways that we can prevent it?
Yeah, because research is twofold. Not only how do we treat it, but how can we prevent it?
Absolutely.
All right. Judge Eric Endell, did this come out of the blue for your diagnosis?
Well, no family history, and not that young, but when I was diagnosed. But mine was a traditional test, the PSA. It kept going up and up until my internist
The key was you were going to get your test.
Yes, I was going to get my test, and that is important, although there's conflicting science now about PSA exams. But following the protocol then, the normal protocol, sent me to urologist, did needle biopsy, came back 3 tumors, diagnosed cancer, all 3 of them, and then you have to then go into the process of, oh, oops, now what do I do? And so you go paralyzed for a moment, but then you got to get out of that mode and start to do some research and talk to a lot of people about their different protocols that exist, and there are a ton of protocols.
Yeah, and I want to talk to each one of you how you addressed it. And Tony, for you, when you got your diagnosis, again, shock, last thing you were thinking about?
Not really. It was a problem that was faced in 1999, 62, which is the average age to be diagnosed with prostate cancer. And my biggest thing was trying to find out why there wasn't a cure, why we didn't have a vaccine. I come into high technology research, and there was no research for a cure, if you will. They treated the body, but not the disease.
Yeah.
I was alarmed. That's why I started the foundation and funding research that leads to a non-invasive prostate cancer cure. So.
And you talk about the foundation. The cool part about you all is, I mean, we know that you're all over town, Eric, doing things at different events all the time to help nonprofits raise money. You two actually took the bull by the horns, if you will, and you said, okay, I'm going to start this foundation for a cure, if you will. You all had a very successful wine event last year.
We did. And, you know, it started because the legacy I was leaving my boys is 33% more chance of having prostate cancer. And that was a hell of a legacy for me to leave. So we started the foundation, and we found a doctor working on a protein, and that's how it all started. Tony's prostate cancer research is tpcr.org. There's a lot of information, and of course our big wine event, our big fundraiser is coming up October 1. So,
all right. And then the Blue Cure Foundation, what you started.
Blue Cure Foundation is the blue side of the women's pink movement for breast cancer, but for prostate cancer. Awareness is very low across the country, so it's simple. You know, awareness leads to action. And most guys in their 20s, 30s, and 40s have no idea what prostate cancer is. So if we can educate them,
or what the prostate gland is, you know.
Exactly. And so we need to raise awareness, and we need to educate, because this year 33,000 dads, husbands, brothers, and sons will die. It's not a small cancer. People say, oh, it's the lesser one. It's not.
Yeah.
You know.
How did you choose to treat it?
I'm on active holistic surveillance. I've been to 5 top doctors across the country. My cancer currently is not detectable. That's from the recent biopsy at the National Cancer Institute. I had to go all organic last year. I had to eliminate red meat at the urging of my doctors. #1 source of protein is wild salmon. taking a lot of antioxidants, AHCC, and a range of other supplements. But I'm on a very specific protocol, which is all organic, all green.
Giving your body the best ability to fight.
To fight. Decrease the inflammation, increase the body's immune system.
And Eric, you mentioned that how you have to kind of, the now what, it really is in your hands. And even medical professionals will say, please help us, be our partners. You go out, do research, and figure out what you think also might be best for you.
And there's a wide range. I follow the medical model. I've had treatment, and I went to MD Anderson Hospital. They had just started, a very young proton therapy center, which is radiation, but a single beam radiation, goes straight to the target.
Less collateral damage.
42 treatments, and knock on glass. The PSA has gone down to the point where I'm cancer-free.
And Tony, for you, yours was a different approach because of the kind of cancer.
There's so many approaches. In my case, in '99, I just looked at the various approaches. I did not like the debilitating effects treatment resulted, and I decided to do nothing about it. I'd rather have 2 fantastic years than 10 lousy years. My quality of life was important. It's 12 years now. I've never done anything, never will. Now people ask, well, what's my diet? So there's so many ways. And my diet is anything that tastes good.
It's going to be a very slow-growing cancer.
It is in my case, and that's one of the things that some of the studies going on right now is to try and find a marker that tells us from the difference between those that are aggressive and those that are non-aggressive. In my case, and there's over 50% of prostate cancer are non-aggressive. The problem is those that is aggressive, they'll die if they don't do something, and we can't differentiate them both. They both look the same.
Yeah, so keeping a watchful eye. The whole point is that, you mentioned that a lot of people just really didn't know about it. There's a shame factor associated with it, just like there was for many years a shame factor associated with breast cancer. So we need to get rid of the shame, get rid of any kind of blame, and start doing things about it as you all are doing. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming out here and talking about it. And the key is to just get the test, whichever test can work for you, just so you're at least aware. All right.
October 1?
Golf tournament?
No, October 1 is the wine extravaganza.
The wine extravaganza.
And you want to know more about the cure that's in the making? It's tpcr.org.
All right. And you can find more information at the Prostate Cancer Foundation's website. That is, like you said, pcf.org. And we have links to Tony and Gabe's organizations on our website, greatdayhouston.com. Up next, how old are the windows in your home? Even if they're just 7 years old, the technology may be outdated and you could be losing money. We'll show you how to give your home a money-saving facelift after the break.